If you are watching this video, you have been blessed. You're about to witness the best video you have ever seen in your life on personal branding. I am about to give you everything that I know. I've invested over $10,000, over hundreds of hours, sleepless nights, days where I've doubted myself, cried myself to sleep thinking, will I ever make this happen? Am I wasting my time just posting content on the internet, looking like a fool just to be made fun of? Now I have over 600,000 followers, get over 20 million views every single month, and live full-time off my personal brand. I've managed to achieve what I've always wanted: location freedom, and leave my 9 to 5 and actually make an impact in this world, because I knew I was made for more than just folding clothes. Now, this is going to be a full course on how to start a personal brand. Now, if you watch this video till the end, you're going to know everything you need to know on how to structure videos, how to create content, everything. The exact same way that I have managed to create my own personal brand. Now, if you can't even watch the end of this video, write notes. Well, that is the very reason why you haven't managed to achieve anything. Because if you don't know how to lock in, get ready to clock in. Now, let's get straight into this. Now, use social media to be social. Make friends, not followers. They buy you before they buy anything else. And when I say buy with their time, buy as a follower, and before they even physically purchase something from you in monetary value. Now, I used to think followers were the answers. Honestly, my whole intention was, how can I get as many followers as possible? I'm going to become famous and I'm going to be rich. That was far from the truth. Now, views don't always equal money. You need to solve a specific problem. And I'm going to get into that. That's what a personal brand is. To be personal. Now, to be successful, you just have to post content and endure long enough. Very simple, right? We're going to break it down in a way that you can actually understand. We're going to go for an overview, what we will cover, and the main problem each one solves. What is a personal brand? Most people think it's just posting. The reality, it's reputation, vibe, and promise made visible through story, value, skills, and content. The foundation, mindset, and identity. This is the most important thing. Doubt and inconsistency stop you before results appear. We build identity, habits, and a simple schedule that makes posting inevitable. And this is so important because I used to try everything: trading, dropshipping, Amazon FBA, and I would always blame the vehicle. But the problem was me. The moment I didn't see it going my way, the moment I got overwhelmed, I would always give up. The problem wasn't the vehicle, because it works. People are successful in it. It was just me, that I was a liability to myself until I became an asset. Until I really understood the foundation, which is everything. Now, number 3, message, story, content. Who? Be the guide. Now, there's people's biggest problem is that they have no clear message or audience. The creator tries to be the hero. So you define your pillars, connect them to your story, and speak to an avatar as a guide. Now, what do I mean by many creators try to be the hero? So many people just try to say, oh, look, I live full time with my personal brand and I have location freedom. Now, you don't really relate to that because you're not in that situation, and I used to be that person. Now, imagine someone tells you, oh, look, I live full-time with my personal brand, but my dad also sends me a bank transfer of $100,000 a month. Well, you're not going to relate to that. So the difference is where your story makes someone feel understood. Now, if I told you I come from South London, I grew up with 2 ethnic minority background parents. I went to a standard school where I didn't really fit in. I felt like I was different. Growing up, I had so many insecurities. I had this big imposter syndrome, very insecure, and I felt like I didn't fit in. I had so many different friendship groups because I just wanted to try to fit in with everyone. And I knew I was meant for more. I had this very ambitious desire inside of me. I reached 25. I still had this ambitious desire in me. I felt entitled to an outcome. I realized that I wasn't where I wanted to be. I had like a quarter-life crisis, and then I realized I really have to do something with my life. I found a vehicle, became the best me, and then I finally managed to create a personal brand, found my skill, I managed to perfect my skill, and now I've managed to live full-time of my personal brand. Which one do you relate with? That's what we're going to do here. Number 4, mastering content types and platforms. The wrong content or wrong platforms equals low traction. You'll learn the matrix: awareness, proof, authority, trust, and where each one belongs. Now, research and validation. Most creators post what they feel like instead of what their audience is begging for. Research gives you the exact pains, words, and proof you need, so content hits immediately and offers land. Now, content that converts: hook, story, and CTA. Views don't become DMs or clients. You'll use a repeatable writing and filming formula to drive action. Monetization blueprint: attention without offers equals frustration. So you'll set up a similar ladder: free, low ticket, core offer. Now, scaling consistency, 30-day launch plan: start, stop, post, and kills momentum. You'll install a weekly production system and scoreboard. So I didn't want to spend too much time there. I actually want to get straight into it. So What is a personal brand before we get into it? So a personal brand is basically who you are. Your dad has a personal brand, your auntie has a personal brand, your dog has a personal brand. Your personal brand is how people see you, remember you, and trust you online and offline. So it's built from three things: reputation, what people say when you're not in the room. Some will love you, some won't. That's good. It means you stand for something. Vibe, the feeling people get when they consume your content or meet you. Calm, disciplined, bold, funny, wise. Promise, what people can always count on you for, e.g. daily discipline tools, no BS brand advice, simple fitness for busy business owners. Just what you want to be top of mind for. So when they think of you, you are the, I hope you understood those mannerisms. So these are expressed through the four parts. Story, what you lived through and overcome, that's what makes you relatable. Values, what you stand for, that makes you trustworthy. Skills, what you can actually teach, do, that makes you an authority. And content, that's how you show up, and that's how it makes you visible. Just remember, your story, values, and skills is a gift. If you don't create content, you are being selfish, because you have this very special solution to a very special someone. That special someone is your younger self, and someone is where your younger self used to be. Now, your younger self wishes to be where you are now because you managed to overcome that problem, and you are going to be the pathway, the bridge between that person's problem to get to where you are now. So the truth is, your brand is born when your skills and knowledge connect to your story to solve a specific problem for someone. This is why they'll come to you over anyone else. Because I used to think, why would someone come to me if there's someone else who's more experienced, who has more knowledge? But it's not about the knowledge or the experience. It's making someone feel understood. And if someone's walked in your exact shoes, well, you're going to relate to them 100%, and you know that they can help you because they've been in your pain. Now, most people's problem is that they only speak about knowledge, value. Did you know this? How, if you do this, now that becomes only knowledge. Then you become ChatGPT. You're going to lose. If you only speak about your story, you become an influencer, if that's what you want. Now, once you match your story and your knowledge and you mix it together, that's how you create a brand that actually impacts. Now we're going to go to the foundation. This is the most important part. Now we know what a personal brand is, we're going to go to the foundation. This is what most people skip. They skip this, and if you skip this, you're not going to go far in life. I promise you. My biggest issue is I would always skip the mindset and identity part. I'd go straight to the how. How do you do it? What systems do I have to do? What do I have to do? So you're always so fixated on the how that you're always chasing the how, but you're not focused on creating the who. A disciplined person. The reason most things fail is because you fail to continue, because you don't see the outcome coming. You start to get overwhelmed and you stop taking action. When you stop taking action, the outcome will never come. So what do? Instead of giving up, you find the next high. Oh, this looks easy. Let me start this. Oh, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Now, guess what? You give up and you find the next thing again. So you just live this endless loop of spending all of this time, all of this energy going nowhere. Fix on one skill. This is a personal branding skill. Master it. Master yourself first before you can master anything else. If you don't learn to conquer self, you will be conquered by self. So why this matters? If your identity says, I'm inconsistent, your actions will match it. We build identity first, so consistency becomes automatic. And the most important thing is you have to convince yourself first. Your why is very important. You need to understand you've been living your life to fit into this box. Now, all of a sudden, if you start to act different, now you won't fit in this box. Why? Because you're doing different, and doing different gives you different results. Now you have to convince yourself, because they'll get to a point where you realize, wait, why am I doing this different? Doubts will start to enter your mind. You start to question what you're doing. People around you will start to question it. Now, if you don't know why, you stop acting the way you were acting, and you go back to the life that you've always lived, giving you the results that you've always had. Now that's why, or why? Why do you go to work? You don't go to work because you enjoy going to work, but you go to work every single day, whether you're tired, sad, angry, upset, because you want to get paid. You have basic necessities that you have to cover. You want a roof over your head. You don't need a roof over your head. You can live on the streets, but it's a certain standard. That's your why to when you don't want to go to work. So when you start creating a personal brand, when you start to embark and do something new, you need to learn to unlearn. You need to learn to realize, why am I doing this? Because the moment you feel like giving up, you have to anchor to that. And every choice that you make is a decision and thing that you do do, whether it's not doing, that's still a decision. You are creating. So what are you creating? There's only two options: the life that you would love to live, or the life that you would hate to live. The life that you would love to live is the one that you envision, which is the very reason why you're here. And the life that you'd hate to live is the one that if you don't take the action to do this, you are creating this. There's no in between. Results stem from your identity stems from your habits stem from your repetition, and your repetition stems from your actions, and your actions stem from your thoughts. Now, if you want to change your results, you need to change your thoughts. Now, let's go into identity mechanics. Now, reinforcement, repetition equals habit equals identity. When you publish repeatedly, your brain accepts, I'm a person who posts. Now, conflict, some people will doubt you will change. Keep on going. Proof is continued action when no one believes yet. You don't even believe it yourself, because you're going to be doing things completely different. And at the start, when I started creating content, when I started going to the gym, many people really didn't believe what I was doing. They thought it was just a phase. Now, you've probably done a few things where you've started giving up. So now people don't believe you, or you might even not believe yourself, which is why it's up to you to prove it to yourself by continued action until you finally get that result. Because if you follow this blueprint, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Now, obsession. You need to treat the new identity like a faith, because you need to embody it. Because now I'm in shape doesn't mean that I'm going to be in shape forever. It's because I choose to be it. So it's my new standard. I post content every single day, not because it gets easier, because it becomes part of my new standard. My level of stress has now surpassed a certain level, and that's why they say your level of stress management will never surpass your level of success. Now, erosion. Old cravings may return. Plan defenses, and that will happen because there'll be a lot of times where you're going to have doubt, where your imposter syndrome is going to come, where you're going to feel like you're wasting so much time. We are human. You're going to feel those emotions, but what you can't do is act based on it, because you know where you are going to go. You know what, if you do this, where it's going to take you, and if you don't do this, where that's going to take you. Now, just remember this: take full ownership. There's no blaming, because you are in full control. That's the scary thing, but it's also very freeing, because you can have a long day at work, you can feel very tired, you can have the worst conditions in the world, but what do you want? Me to have sympathy and cry with you, and you still be in that same situation? Or despite that, you have to increase your level of stress management, deal with what you have, and keep on moving forward, because this is for your own good. Now, in 10 years, you can have 10 years worth of excuses or 10 years worth of results. Yes, it would be perfect to have perfect conditions, and I don't have a camera, I don't have this, I don't have that. You can convince me to why you are not going to achieve your goals, or you can show yourself why you want this and how you're going to attain it, because you live in those conditions already. How can you use it to your own favor? Now, method number 5 moves. Archetype. Choose who you're becoming. Write a one-page profile. Habits, style, pace, and phrases. Cut contradictions. Remove things that pull you back. Late nights before filming days, negative chats, and a cluttered desk. Number 3, act as if. Speak and behave like the archetype today. Posture, tone, decisions. Now, document. Keep a daily proof log. One line. What did I post today? And signal. Make your environment scream the new identity. Tripod set up. Checklist printed. Calendar alarms. Now, action steps. You need a why statement. Remember what I told you at the start, you need a very important why to keep you going. I'm building a brand to reason, so I can impact for who. Become an asset, very important thing. Never break your word. Wake up early, go to the gym, eat right, and improve your skills daily. Now, you might think, what has this got to do with personal branding? This doesn't make any sense. Now, most of the time, the reason things fail is not because of the how, but because of the who. I remember when I tried to trade in dropshipping and crypto, I was so focused on the how, the get rich quick scheme, that the moment it didn't go my way, I would get overwhelmed, and eventually I would stop taking action, and that action will never allow me to get that result. I didn't want to ever accept that I was giving up, so I'd find the next shiny object syndrome, and then the same thing would repeat itself. I realized it's not as easy as I thought it was. Then instead of giving up, find the next thing. So the problem was never the how, because it works. Someone is successful, I can also be, but what I lacked was patience. What I lacked was persistence. What I lacked was discipline. So when you wake up early, you're showing yourself that despite how you feel in that moment, you are choosing to do the right thing. Because people's biggest issues is that from the moment they know that what they're meant to do, what they do is they just think, and this gap is so huge that all you're doing in that gap is trying to convince yourself to why you should not do it, and you know you need to do it. So the goal is to shorten it so you don't actually think. So now we are going to go into Daily 30-minute create, 10-minute learn, 10-minute publish, schedule, pick 3 publish days and exact times, set alarms, ritual, say done, perfect, publish and improve, PM ritual, write 3 lines, posted, learn, improve tomorrow. The reason I skim past this is because I rather you make a mistake, post things instead of just waiting to create the perfect thing and then you'd never post. Because many people are so afraid of posting just in case they look like a failure, but then guess what, they will never post and that is guaranteeing you failure. Just think about it, you need instant feedback. So if you made that mistake, why did you make that mistake? And you can actually see what you need to improve on. So making mistakes is one of the best things that you can do, and make as many mistakes as you can in your career. Now imagine I told you you are 34 mistakes away from actually get that result that you want. How quickly would you fail? Now, message, story, content, who? Be the guide. Now the core idea is that your audience is the hero stuck in a problem. You are the guide with the map because you've beaten that problem already. It's like fat people know how to get in shape. Fat people know how to eat right. The biggest problem is that in those lines, there's an issue. Now, the reason I say fat is because it's a choice. It shows that you are lazy, it shows that you are undisciplined. So if you struggle to be good at being you, you are going to struggle at being good at anything else. And this ties into the last thing. Learn to conquer self or you will be conquered by self. Now, you are the guide. So if you've been fat or I've been very skinny, you know exactly what it feels like to not be in shape, and you know how it feels like to be in shape. So the issue isn't the gym, the issue isn't the program, the issue is those excuses that you're telling yourselves to why you're not making it happen. Most of the time it's laziness, procrastination, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. Now you have to get yourself out of there. So your content, your message is going to be speaking to that underlying issue, which is creating the symptom, in this case being fat or skinny. Now the breakdowns is that your special key, the area of knowledge you're passionate about, discipline and personal branding. My special key, my area of knowledge is discipline. And the reason sometimes I can be so direct is because many people like to sugarcoat things to feel better. And I've learned to differentiate being nice and being kind. Being nice is telling people what they want to hear. I remember I would be hanging around with my friends who might have been overweight, and I would go hard, go to the gym, feel great about myself, and because I knew I wanted to look a certain way, feel a certain way, because I knew it was attainable, that the only thing stopping me was my choices. And I would work so hard on myself, but I wanted to be my friends who were out of shape. And they would tell me, oh, should I change this? Should I eat this? And I would tell them, do whatever you want. Because I only cared about myself. I was selfish. I cared about how they were my friends. So I was afraid of telling them the truth just in case they might react a certain way. Now, everything that I say, it comes from a place of love because it's something that you can change. Why would you accept someone who you are when you can be someone, when you accept... Now, why would you accept someone why would you accept someone who you are instead of accepting who you can be? Like, you have the gift of being so much better and you are choosing to be average. That was me. I was tired of being average. And that's when I realized being kind is just telling people what they're going to hear, but they're still in the pain. Being nice, sorry. Being kind is telling people what they have to hear, despite of how they feel, because it is for their own benefit. And that's why I will always stand with the truth, because I know that after this, you will respect me. Whether you like me or not, you will respect me for telling the truth, because you would either love me or hate me. Love me because I made you realize the truth that you neglected and you finally made that change and changed your life, or you'll hate me because I reveal the truth about you, which you are refusing to change. And personal branding, because it's allowed me to have the location freedom. It's allowed me to create great relationships. It's allowed me to live the life that I've always wanted. It's allowed me to leave my 9 to 5. And I just want to debunk one of the biggest myths. Many people think online just want to get to the point where they don't have to work. This is why most people will remain working for the rest of their life. You need to understand there's a difference between working and doing something that you love. Now, I used to think, oh, I need to get to the point where I no longer have to work. You are still going to be working, but on something that no longer feels like work. Recording videos doesn't feel like work for me. Speaking to people doesn't feel like work to me. Editing videos doesn't feel like work to me. So that's why I can always outwork everyone else. Now, story. Why this matters to you, what you overcame, and why they would choose you over anyone else. Let me give you an example. It's so easy to show workout program, do this, do that, ChatGPT. Most people know how to get in shape. But if you speak about how I was depressed, how I was anxious, how I was very insecure, yet I still managed to maneuver past that and still go to the gym and get into the best shape of my life, people are going to feel related to the pain, and then they want that outcome that you have. So they're going to listen to you once you speak about the pain that they are feeling that you once felt, and you can describe it so perfectly because you've walked in those shoes. Now, that is why someone will choose you over anyone else, because they feel understood. It doesn't matter how many textbooks this other person read. It doesn't matter how many qualifications or degrees one person has, Because if I don't feel understood, why would I listen to you? But if you've spoken to me and you've touched me right where the pain is and you've shown me the way out, you are so valuable to me because you have a very specific key that no one has been able to give me. Now your content is the bridge carrying your message. So we're going to do this: posts, reels, emails, and talks. Now content is the bridge carrying your message between where you are now and where you used to be, where someone is now. So that's why I say if you don't do content, you are very selfish, because where you used to be wishes to be where you are now, and you have that special solution because you managed to overcome it. So you are going to be the bridge between that person and where they want to get to, where you have the evidence because you are there now. So your content is a pathway for people to know that you can solve that problem, because if you have the solution but no one knows it exists, it becomes useless. The best solution is the best known solution. Now, who are you speaking to? A single avatar. You're not speaking to everyone, you are speaking to one person, your younger self, because that's how you're going to touch their pain and really feel and make them understand you, and you will understand them. Now I want you to imagine you've been given loads of like a handful of rice. There's loads of cups, but the goal is I need to put as many grains of rice in the cups. Now you can put it in one cup, in all of the cups. Now the best thing to do is grab this rice and put it all into one cup. But what most people do is they grab the rice and they try to throw it in all of the cups. So yes, you might get more rice in different cups, but you benefit so much more by putting it all in one cup because it concentrates and you won't lose as much rice. Now, I hope you understand that metaphor. So now action steps. Pick 3 pillars, problems you've managed to overcome, things that you're passionate about, things that you've managed to solve, but choose the 3 that you solve best. In my case, it's discipline, branding, and fitness. Map 5 stories to those pillars: origin story, worst moment, big mistakes, turning points, proud wins. Define one avatar, your younger self. The reason this is so important is because when you're speaking, creating content, why do you think I'm so passionate? Why do you think I'm so comfortable? Why do you feel like I'm speaking to you? Because when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to my younger self, because you are exactly where my younger self used to be. So that's why I understand you so well. Now record and publish. Film 3 talking head videos, 1 per pillar. Keep it 30 to 60 seconds. Speak like a mentor, calm, direct, no fluff. Smile once, keep eye level with the lens. Coach yourself. Every time I coach my younger self, because I know what he wants to know. Mastering content types and platforms. Not every video is the same. Don't just try to go viral. So many people try to do stupid videos just for the sake of going viral, and it doesn't have any correlation with your message. Now that you have your message, which is the most important thing, now we create content around this message. Now the matrix is what each type is for. Now LIC, which stands for low input content, is just a word that I made up because you don't have to spend that much time and you can post great volume. Especially at the start, you need to play the volume game because volume negates luck every single time. They used to create awareness to get seen, so skit, trends, B-roll music. That's a low conversion, but at least it puts your face on the map. The next thing is authority. This is where you earn respect. Tutorials, frameworks. This has a medium to high conversion. This is where you show your knowledge, let's just say. Trust. You create connection with talking head videos, stories, lives. This is a very high conversion. And then proof. You make them believe. Transformations, high to very high conversion, where you show where you were before, where you are now, how I went from working 9 to 5 to living full-time with my personal brand, how I managed to transform hundreds of people's lives through my program. This is proof, and you show the proof through your content. Now the platform fit, very simple. TikTok Reels Shorts, short punchy hook, 0 to 2 seconds with 1 clear CTA. This is for awareness. Let's just say in marketing terms, this is top of funnel. Now YouTube long format content is to nurture your audience, build relationships. This is now middle funnel if we're using marketing terms. The only thing you're going to do in your YouTube videos is break limiting beliefs, giving advice, sharing life stories, show expertise. Now this is a very secret cheat code. Instagram stories and live. Now your Instagram stories is like your reality TV show. You're using them for them to like you. For being you, being vulnerable, seeing what you're good at. You want to be transparent, authentic, vulnerable, and you want to be real, because people see how you feel and handle the day in a 24-hour period. And not only that, people see that you are showing up. You build trust, especially on the online space when you want to turn it into a coaching business down the line. How do people know that you're going to show up? How do you expect someone to invest 12 months with you if they don't even know you're going to show up? This builds trust. People are just going to expect that you're going to show up, but you're not. You have to be a consistent person. Now, story pillars are my results, my client results, give them value on what they did so they can also implement my personal life and break in limiting beliefs so the person can see the same situation from a different perspective. So you're always trying to give as much value as possible. Just remember, it takes a person an average of 7 hours for them to actually convert into a raving fan. So if they're watching just short form videos, it's going to take them countless of thousands of videos to accumulate to 7 hours. But if they watch just 7 1-hour YouTube videos, well, it's a lot quicker for them to convert because they understand you, they see your personality, they see the way that you think, they see the way that you handle situations, and from that point on, they choose if they like you or if they don't like you. Now, weekly cadence, this is reusable forever. Monday, talking head. Wednesday, tutorial how to build authority. Friday, transformation proof. Sunday, light trend b-roll awareness. Now, every single day I post a video, whether it be an awareness, proof, authority, trust post, but within time, you will get the flow of this. Repurpose flow, use your reels and repost them on trial reels. That's a secret hack. Now, research and validation. Now we know how to create content, what types of content. Now we understand that every single video isn't the same. Research and validation. Stop trying to recreate the wheel. I remember when I first started off, I wanted to be the most unique person, create the most unique videos, do something that no one ever done before, which is why no one knew I existed and had 0 views. That's why I created content for 4 years, got no traction, until I finally learned to listen to this one rule, listen to adapt, and I finally learned how to pivot, see what is working and add your own sauce. Let me give you an example. Pepsi and Coke, McDonald's and Burger King, they're the same thing, but they are different. That's why you create the same structure, see something that works, and what do? You add your own sauce to it, because no one is ever going to be someone like you. There is only one you. That's what makes you unique, your story. Like, just look at McDonald's, they sell burgers, chips, and drink. Burger King, burger, chips, and drink. So you use the same frameworks, but you add your spin to it, which is your story, and it's never going to be the same. So how we're going to be doing it? We're going to listen before we create. We'll collect pain streams and exact language from real people, scan platforms for demand signals, analyze winning posts, and then choose topics and hooks based on data, not vibes. Now, the best way to do this is to go on your phone, and wherever you be, like a mindset coach, fitness coach, wherever you may be, something in your niche or the subject you want to speak about, and you type it in on Instagram. You go to the Reels section and you'll see the ones that have the most views. What you want to do is create an Excel sheet and basically save the videos that have gone viral and study those videos, because you have no idea what a good video is. You just think videos are videos. Study it. You have to study the first 3 seconds. It's super important, because if you don't watch the first 3 seconds, well, evidently you're not going to see the rest of the video. So what do they do? Visual hooks, messaging, songs, everything. Break it down and recreate until you finally understand and see the links between your content and their content. Because if you create it like for like, then what's going to happen? You're going to start to get traction as well. When you get traction, you continuously do the same thing. As someone who learns, and I hope you're someone who is aware and perspicacious, you'll see and think, oh, now I understand. Then you can go ahead and start recreating your own ones. Competitor and reference sweep. Steal the structure, not the soul. What to capture: hook, words, first frame, visual, runtime, pattern interrupt, CTA, comments with highlights, save share counts. Also, another little hack, go into the comment section, see what they're talking about, see the most liked comment, and now base your video based on the main video and the comment section. But again, everything that you talk about has to be aligned with your purpose, vision, and with your actual message. Because if you're speaking just for the sake of speaking, guess what? It's never going to last. And that's why most people burn out. Because how can you burn out from being yourself? Action steps. Pick 5 creators in your lane. For each, choose their top 5 posts in your topic. And then again, create the spreadsheet where you have creator, the link, hook, visual pattern, CTA, engagement, notes, and what I'll copy from the structure with my twist. Story angle, CTA. So this is how we're going to create content that converts. Hook, story, CTA. Simple. The formula you use forever: hook, 0 to 3 seconds, cool the pain with the myth. Study videos is the best thing that I can do, because I can give you a fish and you'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. So that's why I want you to research, because God forbid I no longer exist and this is the last video you ever see on personal branding. I want you to think, fuck, this is the best video I've ever seen in my life. So now you know how to research, now you know how to find that hook. And now that you have that hook, you know what a hook is, and then you start to implement and put a hook that you saw from one video into one of your ideas, and that's how you make a good video. Story teach. Now you have the hook, you want to make sure that the story or the main part of it is connected to the hook. So let's just say your mistake, you relate to your personal story, the fix, what you've done, and you give a 3-step structure. Or it doesn't matter how long it is, as long as it goes with the flow and as long as it's very close to the actual topic of the video. Now CTA is one clear next action. A one-click next action because it now involves them and tells them what to do, whether it be the tip or taking an action to improve that pain, whether it is to follow you or redirect them to something that you want them to do. Hook library, that's going to add to the research, what we've done before. Now, proof stack ideas, before and after, screen recordings, progress shots, client wins, calendar streak, screenshots, time-lapse, behind the scenes. This is what proof stack ideas are. Now, editing and delivery checklists. Make sure the hook is visible in the first 2 seconds, text on screen, for example. Make sure you cut dead airtime every 1 to 2 seconds. So make sure that there's a lot of things going on. So there's not like dead space. Dead space is where there's nothing happening for like a millisecond. We're on a visual platform. You're fighting for attention. So that's why you want to make sure that you give as much value and you condense it and package it in a way that people actually want to see it. Add captions, one pattern interrupt, zoom, cutaway, overlay, CT on screen, and in caption. Now the moment that you've been waiting for, monetization blueprint. I honestly had no idea that you can monetize on Instagram. And now remember, you are on a social media platform. You are here to be social. No one cares about your offer. No one cares about what you have to offer them. No one wants to be sold to. No one likes that. So you have to do one of 3 things: entertain, inspire, or educate. We are here to educate. You have to go on the platform and make people aware of a problem that they have. And what do you do with your story and your experience? You give them the solution and you become that solution. You should be able to solve their problems for free on your platforms, but they want the implementation so bad that they come to you and they're willing to pay a ticket for it. What do I mean by that? So a simple ladder: free YouTube videos, solve their problems for free, the same way that I'm doing it here. Everything that you're seeing now is the information that you need, and this is going to be able for you to go out there and solve your problems. Low ticket group coaching, call this entry level, for people that are very skeptical, that don't really trust you yet, so they're willing to put their first foot in. Now, a high ticket program coaching, a high ticket is a program coaching that delivers your guide, promise at depth. That's my one-to-one. Now, if you want me to personally help you create your personal brand, audit your content, give you the blueprint, have 24/7 direct access to me, you can DM me on Instagram, the word brand, or book a call with the link below, and I will personally see if I can help you. Now, what does that do? People really want the implementation. They see that you have the solution to their problems, and they will see that you can help them. The same way that if you believe I can help you, you will book a call in the link below. Now, DM reply friendly and ethical. The whole goal of social media is to create friends. Once you create friends, people buy from people they like, people they trust, and they see that you have the solution to their problem, they're going to contact you. Just start conversations, which is why your story, your reality TV show is super important. Because from what you can see here, you'll probably see the book behind you and tell me, oh, I've read that book before. Or ask me, what's the name of that book? You start conversations. The whole point is to start conversations. The more conversations you start, the more friends you make, and eventually it's just a matter of time when you nurture that person because you have the solution to their problem, then they will come for you for that help. So when someone messages you, a few simple replies that you can go back with is, what's your number 1 goal? What have you tried? What is your biggest obstacle right now? Want my 3-step plan for your case? Send them a YouTube video. And if you want help implementing, here's the link, book quicker call. The same way I just sent you to my link below if you want me to help you create your personal brand. Now, onboarding great first week. Day 1, quick win video or 15-minute call. Day 2 to 7 daily prompts, celebrate the first win. Now, anti-burnout rules, 45-minute blocks, 1 unplugged day per week. Good enough published rule, post at 80%. Week after fulfillment, water protein before long sessions. So you want to make sure that you have a system to always fall back on. There's going to be days where you don't feel motivated. So what do? I make sure that I follow through with what I have to do instead of what I feel like doing. Remember, children do what they feel like doing, and adults do what they're meant to do. Now, here's a quick framework for you to have at all times. Just remember what a personal brand is. It's reputation, vibe, promise, backed by story, value, skills, and content. Your core message. Your core is your message, story, content, who. Remember, you're the guide, not the hero. The engine, awareness, proof, authority, trust, and offer. Rule, 1 problem per post, hook, story, call to action, and your mantra, post and endure long enough. Solve real problems, real views, no ads, real conversions. Just take action, learn, and pivot as you go along. Stay hungry, and I promise you, you'll be successful. If you found this video beneficial, put down in the comment section below what was your biggest takeaway. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share this video with someone that might need it. It does mean a lot to me. Now, if you want me to help you to become your best version, become the most disciplined version of yourself that will allow you to endure any other thing, and you can translate the who into the how, DM me the word ready on Instagram. Or if you want me to help you create your personal brand, audit your content, give you the blueprint, and have direct access to me where I help you all along the way, make sure you book a call down below. And with that being said, that is Sunwar out.